I'm confident in my writing abilities. I know I can tell a story and I know I can do it pretty well. But that's where my confidence ends, and then doubt begins to creep in. So it's normal for us to feel doubt and to wonder if we can actually write well. And we're going to talk about that today. How to stop doubting yourself and actually get to work.
You have a story to tell, but you don't know where to start. Let me show you how to free your story. I teach you how to write and how to dig deep in your soul to release your story and make a difference in the world.
Welcome to the Julia Amante channel. If we're just meeting, I am Julia Amante. I'm a women's fiction author and also here to give you some writing tips on Fridays. So, like I mentioned, I am not, I don't doubt that I can write anymore because I've been doing it for so long. But I do doubt that my stories are marketable enough, that the story is something that other people want to read. So the doubt comes in anyways. Even when you have been publishing for a million years, you still feel doubt. It's just something that we writers have to deal with, and we have to live with it, and we have to feel comfortable with it, I guess, because it doesn't go away. It does lessen. It does become not as terrifying as it is usually when you first start, but it's always there. There's always some doubt that you're writing well, that your grammar is okay, that all the things that we wonder about our own stories, and then we may feel more confident in some areas and less in others, but it's always there. So let's talk about, where does this doubt come from? Well, usually it comes from somewhere. It's not, we're not imagining it, and it's also not illogical. If we doubt, we have reason to doubt. And a lot of times it comes from not knowing enough. So when I first started writing, I just didn't know enough. I didn't know how to write a novel. I didn't know how I was going to get it published. I didn't know anything. I didn't really know how to structure it. So of course I doubted because I didn't have enough information. So a lot of times when we don't have information, or we don't know what we need to know, we will feel doubt because we don't. How can we feel confident that we can accomplish something if we don't have enough information to understand what the skills are that we need to develop, or all of that? So a lot of times if we feel doubt, it's because something is missing. We don't know something. We need to learn. We need to find out information, and then once we know what to expect, we start to feel a little bit better. At least we know where we need to, what we need to learn, or what we need to add, or how we need to change in order to be able to accomplish what our goals are, which for us is to write, right? To write a novel, to write whatever we're writing. Could be a song, could be anything. But what do we need to learn in order to be able to do that? Another reason that we might feel doubtful is because we haven't proven ourselves yet. So even after learning the skills or whatever it is we need to know about writing, if we haven't actually written a book and published it, or not even published it, but just actually completed it, we might feel doubtful that we can do that because we've never done it before. So until we've proven to ourselves that we can do something, there's going to be a little bit of that doubt. I had doubt when I started creating YouTube videos because I had never done that before. I had never worked with talking to a camera. I had never created videos. I didn't know that I could do it. I didn't know that I have anything intelligent to say. I didn't know anything. So of course I was doubtful. I was like, can I do this? Should I do this? Am I going to sound dumb? Am I going, all the doubt that you tend to have. And why? Because I hadn't proven that I could actually do it, that I could actually record a video, that I could actually edit one, that I could do any of that stuff. So until you actually start doing it, you're going to feel some of that uncomfortable doubt. Another time that we start to doubt ourselves is when we compare ourselves to other people. So if you are comparing yourself to writers who have written, published novels and are great and have 10 books written, 15 books written, then you might start to doubt yourself, right? You might say, well, I don't write this well. I don't think I could put a story together with this many wonderful twists and turns. I don't think that I could do that, and I doubt it, right? So why do you feel that way? Well, because you're looking at a published, polished, edited piece of writing and yours is not there yet. So you become doubtful because you're comparing yourself unfairly to something that is finished and someone who has probably been writing for a long time. Or you're comparing yourself to another person who is maybe at the same level as you. And to you, it might seem like for that theirs is so much better than yours. And it may probably is not. It's just that you're being harsh on yourself, because we are always like that, right? We judge ourselves a little bit more harsh than we do somebody else's. So we read somebody else's and we think, wow, theirs is so much better than ours. And then we start to doubt our own abilities and our own writing. So how do we get rid of all this doubt, right? How do we get rid of it? Just crush it. Well, it let's look at the reasons that we doubt, right? So the first thing that you want to do to eliminate or at least lessen the doubt is learn as much as you can about writing. Learn about the skills. You don't have to become an expert in grammar, but learn a little bit about that. Read some books when you're editing your work and you're wondering, is this sentence correct? Have a grammar book next to you so you can check, so that you're learning and you're getting better. So one way is just to have this arsenal of skills. Take workshops, read books, and feel better about understanding not only how to write, but maybe how to publish or how a book gets published if you want to traditionally publish. But learn as much as you can, and then you'll start to doubt a little bit less because you'll have more information. And the second reason that I said that people doubt themselves is that they haven't proven that they could accomplish their goal. So what you want to do is you want to start proving this to yourself. So write a chapter, prove to yourself you can do that. Write a second chapter, write a third chapter, complete your book. As you create these little wins for yourself, you're teaching yourself that you can accomplish what you set out to accomplish, that you can write, that you can finish a chapter, that you can plot it out maybe first, right? Plot it out first and say, okay, this makes logical sense. Then start writing it. Then have that completed book done. And what this is doing is it's telling yourself, okay, I can accomplish this. I can do it. I didn't think I could even finish this whole book, but I really did. Then submit your manuscript or chapters to a critique group, which sounds really scary, right? Because now you're going to have somebody else judge you. But tell them that what you're looking for is just some positive reinforcement, so that you're not looking at everything you're doing wrong right now. That will come later. That you just need to know what you're doing right. What's working? What do they like? So that it starts to build, again, some confidence in yourself that you're like, okay, I am doing some things right. Now, later on, you do want your critique group to actually critique it a little bit more and saying, well, this really isn't working for me. But don't have them not do that at first, because what you need right now is to eliminate some of that doubt. So you need to know what's working. What are you doing right? What do they like? Do they like the characters? Do they like the way you set it up? Does the plot making sense? Is it interesting? Is it capturing their attention? So you want to know the positive. So that, again, you start having some of these wins, your confidence goes up, you start to doubt a little bit less, you're a little bit stronger. So by the time they actually do critique it by giving you some, helpful negative feedback, you're going to feel better about it. Like, okay, now I'm ready to fix some things. I'm ready to change it. I'm more confident that I know some of the things I did right. So now let's see what I'm doing wrong so I can fix that. And the third way that you're going to try to eliminate that doubt is, right, we don't want to compare ourselves to others because that creates that doubt. But I do want you to read other people's novels that you like. Okay, whatever genre you like. And instead of comparing them to your work, what I want you to do is learn from their work. I want you to underline, to highlight, to look at what works. Like, I really love the way this author did this. Right? Instead of saying like, I just don't do this, right? I don't think I could ever write like that. Don't do that. Don't do that. But look at it and say, how did they do that? How did this author make me feel sorry for this horrible character, right? How did this author do whatever it is that you liked? How did they bring some humor into this chapter? And pay attention to that and try to learn from that, so that you're not feeling doubtful when you're reading somebody else's, but you're actually curious and you're saying, how do they do that? I want to learn how to do that. I want next time I'm going to try to do that. Okay. So no comparison, just learning instead of reading somebody else's book and feeling bad. You're going to read somebody else's book and feel excited and interested in their book. The other thing that I want you to do is surround yourself with supportive people, positive people, supportive people who are going to encourage your writing. So they're not critiquing your writing, they're encouraging your writing. Maybe they're writing as well, and that you can support each other. But you want to be around people that are going to support your dream and give you some encouraging feedback and some encouragement in general by saying, hey, great, let's get together for coffee and we'll write for an hour together. Or if the person is not a writer, at least they are positive about your work. Also, I want you to redirect your focus to your goal rather than your doubt. Okay, so when you're sitting there doubting yourself, thinking, oh, I just don't think that I can write. I don't think that my story's coming together well. I'm wondering if I'm ever going to be able to sell it. Stop and redirect your focus to actually what you want. What is your goal? Your goal is to write the book. Your goal is to create a great character. Your goal is to write a wonderful scene. And that's what you should focus on. And so it will just change your focus, right? So instead of, oh, I don't know if this is going to be a good book, just stop and say, this could be a great book or could not be a great book, but my goal is to write it. I want to write the book and I want to finish it. That's my goal. It may be good. It may not be good. I'm going to find that out later. I may have to edit it a lot. I may have to do certain things, but right now what I need to do is just write this book. But mostly remember that we are human and we all doubt ourselves a lot, right? So we doubt ourselves in all areas of our life, not just writing. So it's completely normal. And again, as a writer, you kind of have to get used to it. But just be kind to yourself and just keep moving forward and don't worry about doubting yourself. It's just, again, it's part of being a writer. So just keep moving forward and keep growing and improving. And then pretty soon you'll notice that your doubt is just a little bit less, right? You're not quite as harsh on yourself, not quite as scared. You can actually do what I did here at the beginning and say, I can write a book and I'm pretty good at it, right? And that does feel weird, but you'll get to be able to do that soon enough. So I hope this was helpful to you and encouraging. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and then subscribe, share it with a friend, and come back and see me next week. And we will talk about some other interesting thing about writing. See you then.